back to the Canmore Golf and Curling Club. It is Draw 5 action Monday afternoon at the 2021 Canadian Mixed Curling Championship. My name is Al Cameron from Curling Canada. Once again joined by Christina Langs on color commentary for this showdown between a couple of unbeaten teams, Northern Ontario and Manitoba. And we had a great game earlier today on this sheet, and hopefully we can go right down to the wire with this one as well, Christina.
Yeah, hopefully. It'll be an interesting to see two games in a row now and see how the curl on the ice affects this one, and it'll hopefully be a totally different game than the last one we just watched, but you never know.
We will run down the lineups for these teams. Team Manitoba, they're from the Assiniboine Memorial Curling Club in Winnipeg. The lead is Darcy Forrest. The second is Tyler Forrest. The third is Brandy Forrest, and the skip is, wait for it, Alex Forrest, which has set me up for something I've been dying to say all week. You cannot see the tree for the Forests here at the Canadian Mixed Curling Championship. It's good to get that off my chest. This team is 1-0. They won their opener yesterday 9-6 over Alberta. Alex and Tyler are brothers, and their wives are the rest of the team. We'll get into that more as this broadcast goes on. They are playing Team Northern Ontario, skipped by Trevor Bonneau from the Fort William Curling Club in Fort Williams, Ontario. That's Thunder Bay. And they are 2-0, off to a great start. 11-5 win over Alberta yesterday and 10-2 over Nova Scotia this morning. The skip is Trevor Bonneau. The vice skip is his sister, Jackie McCormick. The second is Mike McCarville. And the lead is Amanda Gates. And you know that this team has a history at this event, particularly Trevor and Jackie. They combined to win the 2017 Canadian Mixed Championship and went on to win a silver medal at the World Mixed Championship. So this is a team that has experience and definitely one of the favorites coming in. And both these teams have some experience and rocks in play right away, as you'd expect from two experienced teams. As noted, Northern Ontario will have last rock advantage, looking to get to the 3-0 mark. They share first place in Pool A with Jamie Cooey's Northwest Territories team, which also is in action this afternoon. And a great sweep there from McCormick and McCarville to get that stone from Amanda Gates behind cover.
It's hard not to refer to them as the mixed sweepers, to be honest, if we're going for cheesy last name jokes.
Tyler Forrest now. And there's the nice run back double takeout. Tyler making a great shot. Mike McCarville, and yes, that is Krista McCarville's husband. He makes the double, and suddenly we're looking at a blank, I think. Mike, his wife, Krista, skipped her way and her team into the Tim Hortons Canadian Curling Trials that begin a week from Saturday in Saskatoon. But I was talking to Mike before the game. He'll be staying at home with the kids. Someone's got to be there with the kids back home. So he'll be watching all the coverage on TSN.
It's got to be tough with a talented family, balancing who's going and when.
And just so we get the straight information, it is Alex and Darcy, who are husband and wife, and Tyler and Brandy, husband and wife. And I have a good feeling that I'll mess that up sometime by the end of this broadcast, but Skip and Lead are married, Second and Vice are married.
Starting to glide again.
Almost following the normal format that you'd see in a club. A pair of couples.
Yeah, this is old school mixed curling, isn't it? Yeah.
Not always all in the family, but they decided to take it to just the next level.
Carvel trying to play the run double and doesn't quite get there. So it is still Manitoba sitting shot in the top 12 foot.
Yeah, it was a good throw.
Well, it's safe to say we're already seeing a very different game from the last one. Much less drawing and trying to figure out that curl and just straight into this house is mine and you can't have it.
One thing we did notice in that game this morning too, earlier this afternoon, Christina, was that certainly the ice, they certainly grabbed onto it in the second half of the game, but it probably got a little straighter too as the game went on.
Yeah, they were talking about that when they came off, about how things seemed to straighten out and it made it a little easier to feel confident. There was definitely a lot of chatter about how much the ice was swinging and how weight sensitive it was.
And there you see the husband and wife tandem trying to get that across, but pardon me, that wasn't the husband. See, it took me literally 2 minutes to mess that up. That was brother and sister-in-law. Brandy comes up just a little short on the draw, so now the chance for Jackie McCormick to remove the shot stone. Jackie, by the way, she and Darcy Forrest have a history together, believe it or not. They used to work at the same company, Hearing Life Canada, which is a hearing instrument company helping people hear better. So they've worked together in the past, not in the same office, but for the same company, so they know each other.
And when you think about it too, really Manitoba and Northern Ontario, not that far from one another.
That's exactly right.
Well, he didn't call for it, but I think that must have been what he was doing when he hollered for the...
Same weight.
Getting them soft on you there. Yeah.
You are at all.
Yeah.
Jackie McCormick now with the hit
No,
attempt.
not at all. Little roll, I think.
Just those tiny rolls keeping that one rock more valuable than a guard.
Throws, both of them.
Thanks.
I
They're
should
the more
have
than
known that
control,
first
maybe?
one was... No, that was a hair bigger, but... The first one I wanted to go out of your hand because it was good, but I'm like, so much, I know it's going to go.
So Alex Forrest, I believe this is the first southpaw we've seen in our feature TV sheet.
I think you're right.
Always like to see the crafty left-handers. Tyler trying to get that to move across a little and roll onto the sheet, into the rings, and mission accomplished.
Curling may be one of the only sports where you're putting the result in your wife and your brother's hands. While your sister-in-law gets to tell you what you did wrong.
There's a lot to unwrap there at
There's so many,
dinner afterwards,
so
isn't
many
there?
layers.
Trevor Bonneau now playing the open hit. His sister Jackie
Little
calling
bit.
line.
Little roll, yeah. Good.
And that'll roll onto the rings.
This is certainly an interesting way to keep the blanket option with those rolls just into the top 12 rather than playing around in the center of the house. You're not risking needing that big roll in the end if you decide to blank. Just hit nose and you're not there.
Just nice control weight and keep this stone in play. Seeing if they can get the cheeky roll behind that little corner over there.
Hit throw.
Yep.
Trevor's going to have to think about it, but blank is definitely in play here.
Sorry. God, that one curled it too much. Yeah.
Like it curled way more than I thought.
Yeah. It was taking its sweet time.
Yeah.
Last shot, first end. Shot at a blank. And it's going to roll onto the ring. So, first little mistake of the game, and it favors Manitoba, as Northern Ontario will have to settle for one with hammer in this first end. And it will be Manitoba taking last rock advantage into the second end. Those little unforced errors can come back to haunt you.
They certainly can. It definitely sets up what the momentum of the game is going to look like, though. We've definitely had more fast-paced decisions happening today.
Just a short delay to start this second end as the just making sure that the players' microphones are working. Just going to double check them before we get things started. Two other games on the ice here this afternoon at the Canmore Golf and Curling Club. We've got Team Quebec, skipped by Jean-Michel Menard, taking on Team Nunavut, skipped by Peter Van Streen. Quebec at 0-1, Nunavut at 0-2, and just looking over at that sheet, and there's a million rocks in play in that game already. So, and the other game on the ice this afternoon, it is Nova Scotia's Team Burgess from Truro, taking on, as we mentioned, Jamie Cooey and his team from Yellowknife in the Northwest Territories. And we'll get you an update on that score in a moment. All the scores all the time, you can find them on curling.ca/scoreboard. That's curling.ca/scoreboard. So we're about to get things started here in this second end. It will be Manitoba with the hammer, down 1-0 after Trevor Bonneau could not remove the shot stone, or could not roll out on his blank attempt. Forced to take a single. Northern Ontario lead Amanda Gates will start things off. Amanda's just one of those popular players out there in Canadian curling, just really liked by her peers, I can tell you.
Yeah, I'll see how it does. Like it's
Very
I think
popular,
it's 'cause I, like, pull
lots
my
of fun to be
stopwatch
around.
String. Yeah.
But what's
Yeah.
most interesting might be her boyfriend, by the way, Steve
bit
Smith
better,
III.
Yeah.
Not just Steve Smith, but Steve Smith III. Plays in a couple bands in Northern Ontario. One called The X's and one called Drug Wolf.
Okay.
Apparently Drug Wolf leans into a little harder rock. He plays guitar in that band. He plays bass in the X's, which is a little more mainstream. And Amanda helps sell the merchandise for both those bands and apparently does a bang-up job, which isn't a surprise to anybody who knows her.
I know a Steve Smith, but I don't know that I know a Steve Smith III, so that definitely makes him a standout.
That and playing in Drug Wolf and the X's.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, the band names, though.
You can find both those bands on YouTube and get a taste of their music. So a couple of long guards in play to start this second end here. Seeing if they can get this into rings, but a short guard wouldn't be a terrible outcome.
And it looks like that's where we'll end up.
Leaders.
Nicely stacked, though.
So Team Manitoba will just try and use those center guards and get one in there first before Northern Ontario can take advantage of them. Darcy Forrest.
Hard line. That's good now. Just for weight. We'll just either stop.
Okay, Dars.
Very nice throw. There's their first look at how this ice curls, because that poked out the other side, and it's definitely accessible for Mike McCarville.
They didn't throw much at a lower weight last end, so this might be a little bit of an awakening for everyone.
Christina, that was one of the themes when we were talking to the teams after that afternoon game, is having to believe that it'll curl that much. It's hard to believe, but it does.
Yeah.
But here's an under curl.
Yeah, somebody is making the line here.
It's looking to be a bit weight sensitive this
Yeah.
game, maybe.
Yeah, just bump.
So a chance for Team Manitoba to turn on the pressure. Interesting that both of these Forrest brothers have played in the past with Jason Gunlickson. Alex played with him more recently and played in the 2020 Tim Hortons Brier in Kingston, and then decided, he's going to step back from men's competitive curling. It really is a commitment, as you know, Christina, just week in, week out, and away from the wife and kids. And Alex decided, you know what, there's more important things, so he stepped back from that high-end men's competitive curling. Tyler, meanwhile, played with Jason in the 10 years previously, and in fact was part of an infamous kind of experiment in which Team Gunlickson, including Tyler Forrest, was essentially hired by the Russian Curling Federation to become Team Russia. And the thought process was that they were going to prepare them and groom them and have them potentially represent the country at the 2014 Winter Olympics in Sochi. They played a few events in Russian colors, but the experiment didn't last long, and the Russians decided, you know what, we're going to stick with homegrown talent, and they sent a Russian team to those 2014 games.
Miss another down the same line there where it just did not curl. Like
Okay, you got another chance.
That's interesting that it's maybe just getting the weight up a little bit too there, because that was one thing we saw in the earlier game, is you had to bring the weight down if you wanted to get that movement.
That looked to be a similar kind of hack to board weight. It definitely did not curl like they had hoped.
You're going to have three teammates trying to drag that rock as far as possible, but it's going to come up just a little short. Now a chance for Northern Ontario to get out of potentially giving up a deuce. Jackie McCormick will have the open hit.
Okay, you're almost had it.
That will roll out, and you know what Team Manitoba is going to follow up with.
Too much. More like heel or no? Yeah. He did. Okay.
Brandy Forrest. She and Dorsey actually played junior women's together as well, so they have a history as teammates in the past. working hard to see if they can get this by the two guards.
Really hard. Really hard. Keep going.
But it's by them now. It's just a matter. No, it's just didn't caught that third one in the row. So big opportunity back to Northern Ontario now.
Curious to see how this side of the sheet's curling. We've seen most of the lower weight shots come down the other side. So
And nothing but hits thrown down this path so far.
Yeah.
So first look at a draw. Working
got
hard to
that
get this
curl.
by.
It's got that curl too.
Looks like it's going to catch the red guard.
They're building quite a fortress up there.
Good
They
sweep.
sure are. Now it's just a matter of how they get one through that fortress. Might be a raise attempt here,
Didn't
I
quite
would
get
think.
there.
Yeah, it just looked like when you were sliding and you squared off.
Okay.
That's all. Just so it was close to the broom, but back.
Weight was decent.
Yeah, I think if you were at the broom, that holds.
Okay.
Right? So the weight holds?
Yeah. Are they bumping?
Yeah. Not an easy shot with this height.
So it will be a raise attempt here for Brandy Forrest.
Hold height. Yep. Shoot her down.
It's going to be a little wide, but they'll still be able to spill one into the rings.
Unfortunately, leaving it wide open, prime
It
peel
just-
territory.
yeah.
Looks like the hit and roll will be the call here for Trevor.
Two different throws, or? Yeah.
I think that line is more important if you're like
A little bit more. Yeah. Or a little bit less. Yeah.
probably back 12.
Yeah.
It could take off, but I think their draws were holding. Like that one, backboard didn't go anywhere.
That 2017 Canadian Mixed Championship
Yeah,
that
yeah,
Trevor
this is
won,
the
that
first
took
one.
place in Yarmouth, Nova Scotia. And he beat, we mentioned him already today, Braden Calvert. Beat
Well, you
team
had
Well,
something,
Braden
Amanda.
Calvert's Manitoba team in
Well,
that
Amanda.
final gold medal game.
Yep.
Hard man,
Amanda.
goal, you got it.
Hard.
Trying to get the roll here.
Roll it as much as you can, Mike.
Little roll, but not quite.
He'll stay open. There's Manitoba's opportunity to get this back.
That was a pretty good Manitoba team they beat in that final. Braden Calvert, the skip. Carrie Anerson at vice skip. Kyle Anerson and Jennifer Clark-Rohr, who obviously has played a lot of high-level curling as a player and also as an alternate with Team Jones over the years. So that was a very good Manitoba team that Northern Ontario went on to beat in the gold medal game.
Yep. No. No. Hold. Yep. Yes. Hard.
Did they leave this?
Hard.
Instant too long.
Well.
Be on the guard.
Okay.
Can't touch it. So
Right.
I don't.
It does stay in the rings, though, in a pretty tasty spot.
Coming in and.
And there's a decision to be made now
You
for
like hitting that?
Northern
I think
Ontario.
I think so. Control?
Okay. Do you want the roll?
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess the debate is, do they go hard for the steal or do they
Great.
put
Yeah.
the force in play on Manitoba?
Well, they're looking for a roll, so
I'm
You
calling
get the best of
control.
both worlds,
yeah.
too.
Yeah.
But this is the shot that takes two out of play for Manitoba.
In the last game.
Yep.
to hold this shooter to take the blank out of play, too.
Go, 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 go.
It
Yep.
Right
is
to it.
curling, though.
Right to it.
Great
That's fine.
sweep by McCarville and Gates.
Okay, you got it.
So it is the open hit for Alex Forrest. Nose hit will get him his single point. Last shot of this second
Yep.
end.
Yeah.
Trying to hold this on line.
Hard. Hard. Very good. Good swing. Oh.
Not the prettiest sweep at the end, but it got the job done, and Manitoba will take its single. So we will take a 1-1 tie into the third end, and Northern Ontario will have last rock.
Curling also may be the only sport I've seen where you're also putting up hazards for yourself as you go.
Exactly. Still a little bit of a feeling out process for both these teams as they get used to this ice and these stones. As mentioned, they had some practice time yesterday on this sheet, but not an awful lot. And of course, the pregame practice, but still, you're playing paths throughout the game that you haven't played before on this sheet. So it's definitely a learning process, and whichever team grasps those paths first has a great chance.
We saw a definite momentum change in the last game where it took probably about the first 4 ends for both teams to wrap their minds around the amount of curl they were looking at and trusting that it was going to do what it had shown them it was doing. And so whether or not that realization will happen sooner in this game is going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, you raised that point earlier in the game, earlier last game when we were talking about just that element of believing and having faith in it. I mean, this game is so much more than just, being able to throw an in turn or an out turn consistently. You've got to believe in it and believe what the ice is doing. And often that mental struggle is tougher than the physical stress.
Yeah.
Line's pretty nice.
And you'll see it, I'm sure, with a lot of sports that are technically team sports but rely a lot on individual skill. You have to
Yeah, it's
believe
getting really
that
good.
each of your people can do what they need to do, because it comes down to that one person for such a large chunk of it that everybody's got to be on the same page.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Nice shot by Amanda Gates behind the center guard. Really the only option available to Darcy Forrest now is to follow it down and lock one on.
T-line. I'm not sure.
She didn't sound sold on that call of T-line, but
T-line.
now she's more emphatic about it.
And there is very much, as a sweeper, a process of most of them. I think at this level, it'd be rare to see someone without a stopwatch. That's not the be-all to end all. You have to feel what it's doing as well. You get a feel for it, and you know walking alongside what it's going to do. And they're still early yet for that feel, I think, on this sheet.
Yep.
Wonderful shot there by Darcy Forrest.
Okay, line's pretty close.
Okay,
A little less.
Okay, wait for it.
Where do you want this thing?
Right on top.
frozen.
Probably go a bit.
Mike, then you gotta go. It's your rock.
Yeah.
Tight's okay. Go, 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 go. Help, Jack. Okay, curls fine. Straight. Whoa, wait, we're not there. Whoa, not there. Okay.
Trevor recognizing that was going to come up short. So Manitoba is going to try and warp one in behind all of them. Tyler Forrest, his first delivery of the third end.
T-line. T-line. Top court. Wide
he still gets
Like that? Or
it's
just,
in there pretty nicely.
I think you can probably
You
move
heard that
this.
exclamation of, man, that curled.
Just back for it, yeah.
Okay. I think so, yeah.
I have to say the moose on their shirts is probably the most fierce looking
It's-
moose I think I've ever seen.
Listen, officially, all Canadian curling uniforms are equal
Okay, line's
in the eyes of
nice.
Curling Canada.
We're back for
But the moose,
Close yet?
Full shout out to the Northern Ontario Curling Association for sticking with this uniform because it is outstanding. Outstanding.
Straight, 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 straight. Hard, hard. Hard.
That is a great shot.
that came in beautifully.
Have I been doing it wrong the whole time?
Like a touch less. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
A little lighter, I think.
So we're going to get a pile of rocks in that 4-foot area, I think. Tyler Forrest is going to try and follow Mike McCarville's shot into the same spot.
We're just tight.
This is going to come up short, apparently.
Okay. Yeah.
I think I like the front.
Looking to remove some guard action. A little too cluttered up front for Northern Ontario's taste.
It's worth noting these Moose uniforms, by the way, they made their debut with Team Bonneau at the 2017 Canadian Mixed. So they have a winning history in this uniform.
Shooter, Jackie.
It's almost his moves at this point.
Nice shot.
That's really good.
That was a very effective shot.
Good throw, good line call, good outcome for Northern Ontario.
Okay.
And now it looks like Manitoba's looking to shake things up in the house a bit.
Brandy Forrest looking to play a hidden role, it looked like the call was. Tyler Forrest trying to keep this
Hard, you gotta go.
line the way they wanted it.
Hard.
It's going to be a nose. But it does leave Manitoba sitting second, third, and fourth with that Northern Ontario stone biting the button.
Triple's not there, eh? Pretty close. Come have a look, Mike.
Talking about the triple, we're
This one's probably not going.
seeing if they could, on an angle, I guess, hit those two frozen blue rocks, bump onto the red, which would bump onto the blue at the back four. A little bit of drag effect physics going on here.
I'm okay with that. If we throw weight and get rid of these, this one and this one.
Knows we know it's just going to get on it.
Well, if anything, a hair center side and play to hit this into that. Yeah. Play firm weight. Hair center
Definitely some
side.
bold moves
Close to
happening.
nose.
Okay.
I think this is going to be a fun shot to watch. Always like seeing how these frozen rocks react.
It's always interesting to see the way a different skip will come at a problem. You have to appreciate his faith in his team to make shots like this.
Jackie McCormick.
Yes.
Yep. Hard.
Gotta go.
Hard.
Really gotta go.
He went this at least on the center line side, or not cross the face, though. That was the problem. It leaves Manitoba sitting 1-2.
Hit the back one? Just knows the back one?
Big guard this one. Out of this. But it might just be a nose triple. Okay, let's go.
Okay.
You heard the debate. Hitting the back one was a suggestion from the hack, but Alex was a little worried that that might line up a potential triple. So the guard is the call.
All you.
You kind of have to balance, too, a comment that I made in the last game about fighting for real estate behind the tee line and whether or not it's worth it for the final goal.
Oh. Sit.
That's pretty good.
Overcurls a touch and leaves the front open, but definitely complicates things.
Jab.
Normal.
Okay, just normal.
This Bonneau family, a curling family.
Yep.
Their dad, Brian, got the kids into curling, and it was
Yes.
Trevor who convinced Jackie to get back into competitive curling and play mixed with him after she moved back home after going to school at University of Western Ontario. So that's a pretty good shot. Gets both of those Manitoba stones behind the tee line.
I think we just nose it and make him play something. I think you should, yeah. Here?
I love when the strategy becomes make them do something.
Okay, you got it.
Yep. It's not just
What can we
considering
do?
how it'll help you and how it'll mess them up.
What can we make them have to do?
Yep. Alex Forrest, chance to sit 3 here.
Oh, yeah. Yes! Hard! 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 Roll it.
Is it going to jam, though? It will. Over-curled on that one.
But I believe it finished shot, that
The nose is probably going to
blue Manitoba stone.
whatever we got here. It's great.
Okay.
Play it for the once you see nose, and then finish it at the end. Pair more. Intro control.
Is that good?
Yeah. Go for the nose, but probably take a breath in it. So if it comes up, it'd be very nice.
So Trevor Bonneau will play the hit. Chance to sit 2 with last rock here in this third end.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Really hard.
Hard, guys, hard.
And look at that curl. Just like that, the deuce goes away. Both of these Forrest brothers, by the way, played in the Canadian Junior Championships. Tyler played in 2003. Played with Reed Carruthers, skipped that Manitoba team. And Alex, who's about to throw right now, skipped Manitoba at the 2010 Canadian Juniors and got to the gold medal game and lost in a very, very tough fashion. Gave up a deuce in the 10th end to lose 8-7
Yep.
to Jake Walker of Ontario.
Whoa! 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 No!
on the rings, and it will be Manitoba sitting 2, and that will force Trevor Bonneau to draw for the single.
Same as practice, eh? Paramore.
Just completing the thought on that 2010 juniors, that Alex Forrest team included Connor Negevin playing second, and of course Connor will be playing at the Tim Hortons Canadian Curling Trials with
Line's
team
fine.
Jason
Tea,
Gunlickson.
sweet for tea.
Small world.
Small world, especially in Manitoba competitive men's curling.
Nice.
Okay.
There's some provinces that just have it so
All
locked
yours.
down.
Line's great.
Manitoba's definitely one of them.
Tea, sweet for tea. Oh, I think you're okay.
Touch the 8-foot, we'll get a single, and I think this is job done.
Red.
Trevor Bonneau. And you'll just make it to the button just for fun to get that single.
Very casual, just like practice, he said earlier. So
Confirmed. So it is a 2-1 lead for Team Northern Ontario. And that will go into the fourth end. Nothing but singles so far.
very different pace of game, but very similar scoreboard to last game.
Yeah. And I called it a 5 on it both times. I thought it was a little bit less, and then it was a 2. Yeah. Oh, jeez. I feel like we have to stay on this side from the cameras though, and I feel like I'm always in the way of everything. Oh yeah.
Hearing a bit of commentary on the intricacies of playing with cameras, not something you have to take into account in your normal curling game either.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Go. Full 8.
That will come into the rings. And the corner guard will be called.
Working hard to get that across the hot line.
And nope.
That
Nope.
would have went over, Tyler.
Decisive. Brandy was pretty sure it was going to make it, but Tyler chose to give it a kick.
So Amanda Gates
I like the line.
Want it tight.
trying to get a short center guard here.
Oh, just tight.
Okay, just tight. Line should be good.
Not quite tight. We go
Yeah, go now. Yeah, if it's not quite tight, go. Hard. Cross center, hard. Go. Full cross. Go.
Very nice.
I think so.
Good act.
This Manitoba team, by the way, they won the Manitoba Mixed Championship. Thanksgiving weekend, they beat Sean Grassi in the final, and Sean Grassi, of course, a former Canadian mixed curling champion. That's going to wreck on the guard, and is it going to get out of play? We'll see. No. Oh, did that spin onto the rings? It did. Wow. That changes Trevor Bonneau's call.
Keep it firm.
Alex was over there wondering if it was going to touch the
He
sideboards.
was just
and it
waiting to move it.
Yeah, that's a spun right onto the ring, so that kind of changes this call.
When you think about how close some of the qualifiers were to teams needing to be here, that's a lot of pressure to put on whoever's making all their
Stop,
targets.
Amanda, you're going to hurt yourself.
In some cases, they only had a couple weeks to get all the right names on
Sure
the
did.
right sizes.
Sorry, I didn't think I was going to get that far. I didn't think it would get as far as it did. I didn't think it would get that far.
So Northern Ontario sitting 2.
Good. Top way. Top way.
Manitoba ignoring those rocks that are counting and throwing the short center or short corner guard.
Really hard. Same. Yeah.
Northern Ontario will try and counter with a short guard of their own, and you see how much ice Trevor Bruneau has taken here.
I think he's definitely caught on to the amount of swing you'll see at a lower weight.
6 feet.
We're tight for sure.
Expected
Let it
curl
work.
here.
It looks more.
Yeah, we're in. 8.
Where?
8 foot.
Yeah, pass us.
I don't think we can get past.
Probably like right beside it.
Hard pass.
They're gonna
We might be tucked in behind.
try and get it deep.
Whoa, whoa. We're back forward. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Can. Okay, let's make a good one.
So it's mostly buried, and I think the call looks like they'll play the run back.
Yeah.
Might even get the roll here.
I think hidden would be nice, otherwise you end up with that same hit for hit game for the rest of the end that we saw heading the other way.
Normal.
Trying to hit this on the high side, but it's going to go across the face, and he'll be fortunate to keep the shooter.
Which is not going to happen.
So Northern Ontario will sit 2 rock in hand. As Jackie McCormick prepares to throw her first shot of this 4th end.
Heel.
Ooh. That's not an easy peel.
Skipper says peel, so
I think we just need more ice.
that's the call.
Whoa. Yep. Hard.
Hard.
Hard. Good sweeping. Shot, Jack.
Nice execution on that shot.
We're seeing generous ice from Alex as well.
This is just not a shot you practice an awful lot. So it's uncharted waters. Randy Forrest gonna have to work this. Tyler Forrest trying to keep it on line. Can they double maybe?
Ooh.
Just like that. Will Alex get it out? Not quite, but still a great try.
That was my mistake on the generous ice. I thought he was calling for a drop, but I definitely like that shot better than.
Just control.
Just couldn't get it out. So it is Manitoba's sitting shot, but Jackie McCormick will take aim at that.
Yes.
See if they can sit 2.
Whoa.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, we're good. Clean, clean. Yep. Straight. Good.
Hit and roll is the call here for Randy Forrest.
Control? Is that what he said? Just control? I think I need more. I think it's going to curl a ton here. This is less than what he gave him. I still think a little bit more.
Now we're seeing a lot of faith in the fact that it's going to curl.
Yep. So that's got to go across the face of the target stone.
No.
And it doesn't seem to be moving yet.
Trying to get it to curl.
Just nose, eh?
Yeah.
And rolling it that way certainly helps Northern Ontario. Split those rings, and the double takeout gets harder and harder.
kind of weight, Jack, you have it.
Looking more and more like Manitoba will be forced to take a single in this end. Got to hold the shooter, though.
Amanda.
Whoa. It's running really straight. Amanda.
Amanda. Come on, get her over.
Amanda Gates
way
trying
over,
to get
Amanda.
some curl out of
Yep,
this,
stay
but
with
if they
it,
roll
stay
the
with it.
shooter out, that's
Okay.
a big break for Manitoba. So the blank is in play.
Okay, you got it.
Out in the wider stuff. Not the hook, eh? Yeah. Then last time mine took off, I must have just helped it. Yeah. Sorry. Took all the time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, smooth it up.
Nice scrub there by Brandy, or for Darcy Forrest
Okay,
to keep that.
girl.
And it just rules out. I thought that was going to stay on the rings.
Okay.
So just an opportunity to learn something about the ice here for Trevor Bonneau, and try and find a place that might be a little challenging for Alex Forrest on his blank attempt.
Weight should be good.
I'd say he's probably found a pretty good spot for that.
Like, it's not going to come down over there, I don't think.
That guard might come in handy yet.
Line's great.
For T. Whoa. Yep.
Hard.
Hard. Yes.
Seeing if
Yes.
they can warp this just to be a biter.
Come on. Hard.
House, hard.
Hard. Okay. Whoa.
Pretty great shot. Very similar to a setup we had last night. Jamie Cooey made a very, very similar shot against Quebec. And unlike that game where Jean-Michel Menard decided not to take a chance on the blank, and he drew for his single, this time Alex Forrest will take that on. You can see just about all of it, but it's a different path. He's going to have to roll across the entire rings to get out too, so
Which was good thinking on Bonneau's part. That's a lot of roll to need.
yeah, there's no short exits here.
Nope.
Last shot of this fourth end. Alex Forrest with the blank attempt.
Yep. Oh. Yep. Do it.
And not a problem. So will be a blank for Team Manitoba in this fourth end, and it will be Northern Ontario that will take a 2-1 lead into the fourth end break. The teams are going to take a break. We will too. We'll be right back to the Canmore Golf and Curling Club after this.
One might say I was born to overcome challenges. 2 months premature, in and out of the hospital, and a heart condition. My parents call me their miracle baby. As with all survivors, I searched for my place in this world, and I found it here. This pebbled ice is where I battle now, and at only 12, I am already a 5-year veteran of this sport. I have my sights set on the Olympics. I will push hard to get there. The only size that matters in this sport is the size of your dreams.
Sweep! Sweep! Hurry! Hurry! Hard! Hurry hard! Hard! Hurry hard! 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 Woo! We should really be curling.
This ice is everything. It's where I come to feel close to her, to feel whole. This building helped raise me when my mother no longer could. When I step on the ice, she steps with me. My dad is my rock. We're a team now, like the 4 of us when we step on the ice. People say that this isn't a contact sport, but that's not true. It contacts you where you need it the most.
The game with the ice, and the rocks, and the sweeping, and the yelling. Each game starts with a handshake. Then, 2 teams of 4 people take turns throwing 44-pound stones down a sheet of ice. Each team throws 8 rocks, and the team closest to the center after all the rocks are thrown will score the points. This process is repeated for 6 to 10 rounds until one team is victorious. It's just that simple. Or is it?
Welcome back to the Canmore Golf and Curling Club. Monday night. Wow, I'm getting ahead of myself here, aren't I? Monday afternoon action at the 2021 Canadian Mixed Curling Championship. We've got Team Manitoba, skipped by Alex Forrest from Winnipeg. Team Northern Ontario, skipped by Trevor Bonneau from Thunder Bay. My name's Al Cameron from Curling Canada, joined by Christina Langs for this 5th end. And it's a 2-1 lead.
You missed it.
For Northern Ontario, and Manitoba will have last rock, and they both had a chance to debrief as teams. And I would guess if you were the coach, Christina, you'd have much the same message for both teams.
I do, and I don't blame you on the good evening. Daylight savings has us losing the light pretty quick right now. It is a similar message for both. We're seeing not a lot of setup, not a lot of creating an opportunity to take more than one. There's a lot. It's a very clean sheet from both teams, and I would say you had made a joke previously about how they've been commanded to keep as many rocks in play as possible. But I would say, honestly, maybe we should lean into that because there's not a lot of opportunity to take a big end, and I think maybe we need to explore that a little bit in this second half.
Bump.
You see that rock curling and coming out into the open from Darcy Forrest. We'll run down these lineups for both teams one more time.
Whoa, Mike.
That's lead Amanda Gates. The second for Team Northern Ontario is Mike McCarville. The vice is Jackie McCormick. And the skip is Trevor Bonneau. They play out of the Fort William Curling Club. Here's a little bit of a miss from Amanda Gates. Manitoba lead Darcy Forrest. Second, Tyler Forrest. Third, Brandy Forrest. And the skip is Alex Forrest. Alex and Darcy are married. Tyler and Brandy are married, so it's a family affair, and this team plays out of the Assiniboine Memorial Curling Club in Winnipeg.
I think we're out farther.
As we get things started in this fifth end, we'll just give you the update on the other two sheets in action here at the Canmore Golf and Curling Club. Sheet B, also at the fourth end break, it is Quebec. Jean-Michel Menard, former champion at this event 20 years ago. He's in a 9-1 lead over Nunavut.
Wow, good throw, Darce.
Team Van Streen playing out of the Iqaluit Curling Club. And
Control.
Team Menard playing out of the Etchemin and Des Collines Curling Club in Etchemin and Chelsea, Quebec. So a 9-1 lead for Quebec at the fourth end break. And in the other game, a bit of a topsy-turvy affair over there as Jamie Cooey of the Northwest Territories gave up a 3 in the second end against Nova Scotia. Craig Burgess' team from Truro. But Team Northwest Territories came back with 3 of their own in the third and a steal of 1 in the fourth, so it is a 5-3 lead for the Northwest Territories. And it is the Northwest Territories and Northern Ontario both at 2-0 atop of Pool A. Manitoba 1-0, so they could get into that mix. Top 4 teams in both pools get into that championship pool, which begins on Thursday. You'll see all the action from the 2021 Canadian Mixed on Curling Canada's YouTube channel with production from our friends at IKS Live, doing a great job as always producing these broadcasts.
Control!
Chance to sit 2 here for Manitoba with Hammer in this fifth end, and you get the feeling that whoever gets the first deuce in this game will take a big step forward to victory.
It'll definitely do a lot for momentum, and a change in momentum or having it with you is definitely not to be underrated in a game like this.
Same.
Whoa.
Maybe a little more.
Jackie.
Mike McCarville with the throw now. He's
right to it.
Trying to get the roll, but it's gonna. Will it stay on the rings?
Okay, Mike.
It will just roll out.
Okay, let's make a good one here.
So shot stone belongs to Manitoba, and they will draw open side.
Over to it, or?
Okay, I think
Get over and put that rock in play, perhaps. I mean, it's a catcher.
We haven't seen a lot of inside-out draws yet, so it'll be interesting to see how this...
That's a great point, because that's just not a shot they throw in practice either, so... Trying to drag this on. Brandy and Darcy Forrest. Trying to grab a little paint. Oh, great scrub.
there.
Got a sliver and a little bit of backing. Enough that Bonneau doesn't appear to be bothering with it.
I think the hit and roll is the call. Jackie McCormick.
Yes. Hard. Hard.
And watch out, if this curls too much, that catcher may come into play here.
Hard.
Good scrub there, keeps it out, and did they get the roll? Boy, great try there. Overswept, believe it or
I
not.
know.
Now the question is whether those rocks get replaced. That rock is still there, the red stone. Northern Ontario with shot rock after that great hit and roll from Jackie McCormick. But that will be the call. That will be the target for Brandy Forrest. And Manitoba has another chance to sit 2.
Yeah, hard. Hard! Hard!
Tyler Forrest. Darcy Forrest going to work, trying to keep this online, but it's going to wreck on the guard.
Sometimes no amount of sweeping can fix what you know out of your hand. Just a touch inside.
Yep. Whoa, whoa. Stand up.
Trying to get this to curl a little bit.
Hard.
It's going to have to skate a lot.
Hard, hard, hard. Okay.
We'll remove it, but it will roll out.
Just didn't want to.
And we may be back in blank territory.
Looks like it might be.
Yeah. Open hit as Northern Ontario sits 1.
Oh, no. No. Curl.
That'll roll out. Now that's an opportunity for Northern Ontario to use that guard.
Yeah.
This way's not hooking as much, but I think that's the thoughts.
Not hooking as much, and they're still taking 6 feet of ice.
Yeah.
Chance to get buried behind that guard. Manitoba would have to chase it.
Whoa.
Line's great. Line's nice.
Whoa.
Line's
Okay.
good.
Line's good. Good. Yep, finish it up.
Go, Amanda. Not too deep, guys.
Look at that go.
Hey.
What a wonderful shot by Trevor Bonneau.
Nicely buried behind that guard.
Okay.
There was some danger, and if it popped out
Hey,
the
you
other
got it.
side, but it's quite well hidden.
So really, Alex Forrest, he's going to have to go after that. He'll try and freeze one up to it. And interesting to see, he's taken less ice. So maybe something to do with releases. And coming out of a different hack, too, left-hander.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
how much does the lefty play into that?
Okay, line's fine. Wait. No, line's fine. No. It's got to curl if anything. Oh, okay.
They're saying that's a little warm.
Yeah.
Right out, right out, right out. Go, 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 go.
Oh, right past. Not enough curl to freeze to it, unfortunately.
Well, we got another one.
I like that.
Here, and make the straw harder. But
Oh,
you might
yeah.
just do that for the blank.
Right. What do you guys like here?
Harriet?
I think we're in, right?
I think so.
You go top 12, you're probably playing double blank.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, same ice. I think he's good. He would take a rep at the blank.
Morrison's awesome.
Yeah, no, I'm saying I think he'd take a rep at the blank all day. So.
So they're taking a guess at what they believe Manitoba would counter if they get this buried.
Less.
There's always a bit of what can the other skip do factoring into the calculation.
Line straight. You've got lots of room. No.
And an assumption that
won't let it work.
Manitoba guy can throw it hard and rip it, because all Manitoba skips can throw it hard and rip
Position,
it.
Amanda.
It's a requirement,
Amanda,
Yep,
really.
yep.
Right on top of this one.
It's a good shot, Chuck.
That's good. Yeah. Okay, you got it. Make it good.
Taking another chance at that same draw. He's given himself more ice this time.
Take a few feet off of it.
T-line. All you. Gotta be T-line. Hanging
Big
out
shot
there.
here for Alex Forrest,
Hanging
looking
out
at a
there.
couple.
Oh, no, still hanging out there.
Need full 4. Sweepers are not touching this.
Okay.
That
touch
is
too
going
much
to
again.
slide too far, and it will be a steal of 2 for Northern Ontario. A big steal, and we talked about who gets that first deuce. It is Northern Ontario, and they will take a 4-1 lead over Manitoba going into the 6th end. So, a couple of nice shots there from Trevor Bonneau to get that deuce.
And if Manitoba's not careful, this could definitely play into the mental aspect of their game.
Top 4. Top 4, guys. Make it good for lots of line right
I
now.
think it's plenty, but
I think it's fine, yeah. I think
just want to stay close.
Seems to be sliding for now.
Yeah, it's sliding good.
It's not in the slow stuff yet. It's still sliding. Hang on, Rob.
Should be good. If it gets to the middle.
Top 4 is the call. It's probably going to slide deep.
Okay, Amanda.
I don't think Team Manitoba will pay attention to that rock at this point. The corner guards are their best bet to generate 2 or more, which I think is pretty important in this 6th end.
They definitely need to be thinking about setting up opportunities for as many as they can. 2 is ideal. More would be great. Going to work for every inch on that rock.
Good scrub by the husband and wife team of Tyler Forrest and Brandy Forrest. Reminder, we've still got one more game
Touch.
coming up on Curling Canada's YouTube channel later today. We'll be on the air at 7:30 Mountain Time. 7:30 Mountain
it's
Time.
about the same.
New Brunswick's James Grattan against BC's Sebastian Robillard.
Okay. Coming.
Both those teams unbeaten coming into tonight. New Brunswick at 2-0, British Columbia at 1-0.
Hard! Hard, hard, hard. Full 12, full 12. Come on, hard.
They want that in the house,
That
and
side, just
And they have their
Good
full
throw.
12. Slightly offset to the one in the back.
See, the double corners is the call for Manitoba to see if they can generate something.
It's good.
Pretty high. That's where they want it. You see where Alex is holding his broom. Very nice. Northern Ontario will just keep lobbing them in.
I was going to say, Bonneau's not wasting time with guards this end. He wants as many rocks in the house as possible.
Like his wife, Krista, Mike is a teacher himself. He teaches grade 11 and 12 math and biology at St. Ignatius High School. Also coaches the St. Ignatius boys curling team.
Take a look.
As you might imagine, winter's a pretty tough time of year, but a fun time of year for the McCarvels. Both their kids curl
Really holding right
and
now.
play hockey.
Amanda.
Top 4.
Yeah, go, Amanda, go. If you can, go.
Can't go. I think
Okay.
it's deeper.
Yeah, go now, go now, go now, go, 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 go. Go, 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 go. Hard.
Mike and Trevor also play on a competitive men's team based in Thunder Bay, and among their teammates is Jordan Potts, whose wife happens to be Sarah Potts, who happens to be the lead for Team Krista McCarville, who will be playing in Saskatoon at those Tim Hortons Canadian Curling Trials.
Doesn't surprise me that there's so many Thunder Bay curlers. I did a couple years there in college, and as much as it is freezing outside, I would choose freezing inside. 100%.
And you mentioned their curling clubs have some pretty great Chinese food.
Oh, so good. Just
Looking forward to getting to Thunder Bay in January for the 2022 Scotties Tournament of Hearts. Tickets are really selling fast for that event, and if you want to be a part of it at the Fort William Gardens, curling.ca/tickets. Curling.ca/tickets. To see those Scotties Tournament of Hearts in Thunder Bay for the first time since 1996.
Kinda don't mind that.
Yeah, we're saying that too.
So now a guard is the call, as Northern Ontario sits 3.
I think you're right.
Beginning to slip away from Manitoba in this end. They had the 2 corner guards, could not get one around.
yeah, they've got a lot out front, but not a lot that would be useful on the scoreboard for them right now. And Bonneau's looking to make that harder.
Go early. Hold it early.
Tight.
Gotta go. Hard.
Tight. Tight.
Trying to get this as tight to the rings as possible. It would also close the hole.
Halfway tight.
The deeper they get, the more it'll curl. So
Stop.
Well, now I don't know what we're going to do. Is that just...
it's kind of caught in the middle. So you got a staggered guard up front.
Okay, let's make it.
But a hit and roll chance here for Tyler Forrest.
Maybe down. Okay.
Do we ever go here?
One less red in the rings for Manitoba to worry about, but I'm sure that that'll just get replaced pretty quickly.
Yeah. I think this is better.
Just couldn't hold that shooter.
Keep it firm though. If we roll out.
Okay.
It's in play over there, but definitely exposed. And a chance to sit 3 as Jackie McCormick will settle into the hack.
Well,
Seeing if they can get this onto the rings and it'll just roll out.
Yep.
Still a chance here for Manitoba, though, Christina. They can get one behind those staggered center guards, which is the call.
I mean, they're only halfway through the rocks. I wouldn't write them off yet.
I don't know. Okay.
Path forward isn't exactly extremely clear, though, so I can definitely see the hesitation from Alex there. How do we make this happen?
So they're going to try and remove those center guards, but see if they can spill the shooter over to become a corner guard. That could be used later in the end. As you say, there's still rocks to play. Pretty good.
Tight. Top 12.
Okay.
Line's pretty close.
She's looking for top 12 here, so
Okay, line's good.
we still want it to count, but we also want it in the way.
Well, if
Whoa, it's over, Curly. Whoa, off. Sit. Stop.
sit down.
You can hear them pleading, but as you say, Christina,
Okay, Jack.
rocks never listen.
I am starting to wonder if their first language is not English.
Speed, like, what are we thinking? 14-5?
It's now the chance to
15?
corner freeze onto the shot rock. It is Northern Ontario sitting 2. Manitoba really scrambling to try and generate a crooked number here. 2 or more in the 6th end as they trail by 3.
Mine's fine. No. No.
It's got quite a ways to curl here. So Tyler trying to bring it in on their back rock.
Just a little heavy, I think, but I think we're seeing a repeat of what we saw in the earlier game, in that the ice is straightening out just a titch in the second half of the game. Still plenty of movement, any shots possible.
Yeah.
Here.
Must throw them for a little bit of the loop, though. As soon as you start to believe it's going to curl that much, it stops curling
No,
that
I
much.
don't know how to get. I prefer this because if it's this kind of weight, you just sink it here. It's pretty good too.
And you could go off of one of those.
And we
too.
can bounce off if it's coming up.
Okay, do you want them to hold it at first?
Yeah, I think so. Hold it early.
So they're trying to throw that center guard again that they've had troubles with making, because it just twice now has curled more than they expected. We say it might be straightening up a bit, but Northern Ontario is still getting that curl. And weight sensitive too, let's face it. That last attempt was a little heavy from Manitoba, so another crack at the center guard from Trevor
You're not
Bonneau.
worried about weight anyway.
They'll take a little more ice, I think.
Whoa. Okay, well, you're way out there.
Whoa.
Whoa, you don't have to hold it, Mike.
Now they're going to try and see if they can make it curl a little bit.
Will it come back
I
in?
think that'll...
I think that'll finish quite nicely for what they need it for.
You're good. It's by itself.
Just like that.
Ta-da.
See, it was possible.
Yeah, we had to almost hit that to make it. Yeah.
But when that touched the hog line, it was nose hitting the high corner guard up there. And it curled 2.5 feet in the last 6 feet. That was, there's a lot of curls still.
Full 8.
I don't even think you want to freeze that
No, I think you'd want to be just full 8.
beat that one and bury it.
Yeah, I like that.
So there is curl, as you'll see where they're placing the broom on this. Brandy Forrest literally
Yep.
has her broom
I might as well go stand in the bleachers.
on the divider. You can see right there. So ignore everything we said about the ice straightening up.
Right?
Let's not be silly. It ain't straightening up.
Not how it's finishing after the hog line, anyways.
They're going to try and play the freeze on the shot rock. Northern Ontario sitting 2 in jail.
Yes, they do have quite the fortress out front right now. And unfortunately, Manitoba's helped to build the very thing keeping them out at this point.
Discussion in the hack between the brothers, but it won't change the call as Alex will play the wide draw.
Keep
Counterclockwise,
Where?
his intern.
Okay, no then. No.
They're saying already to the back one, so this is
No.
a little heavier than they'd hoped.
Go on.
It's risky throwing that far out. You almost need the weight to break through the frost, but then if it doesn't come back.
Again, just a little heavy. That's 2 shots in a row now that Manitoba just hasn't given to the sweepers.
It's either we draw one in or take the off away. So
Well,
I
that's
think
his only. Well, he can still get here, but he's not going to. It's hard to get shot.
that's his shot, I think, right? No, we're second.
So the
That would
discussion
draw
is
one in or another one in. No, but that's a shot for 1. Yeah, me too. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we shot the out turn here before too.
Which one are you doing? Out.
Yeah, we'll play a little solid. Just good normal. Maybe a little more. More, yeah.
so that stone they're targeting. That's the only stone really that gives Manitoba a shot at scoring here. The in-off. They're going to take that stone out, the plan, and see if they can roll in to sit 3. They currently sit 2.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Boy, they're going to have to work this just to
Oh
make
my God,
contact.
Trevor. Christ.
And that will find nothing. Now we will see if the in-off is there.
Yeah, I think.
And I'll tell you what, if he gets us on the right angle, it's there for 3.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Just
Randy looks a bit skeptical.
splits the wickets, but if he can get off this and then goes over and comes off the back edge of the red shot stone and then back to the red at the back 12, I mean, we're talking TSN turning point, highlight reel shot of the year candidate, but
That's a shot of millimeters. But hey,
never say never.
never say never.
Whoa. Whoa. Curl.
Gonna have to curl. Oh, that was close. And it will be a steal of 2 for Northern Ontario. That wasn't off by far.
I really thought that was coming across the top of the back at least. But
So it will be a 6-1 lead for Northern Ontario as we go into the 7th end. Great try from Alex Forrest, and like I said, it wasn't off by far.
Manitoba definitely has their work cut out for them here. Set up something big.
Well, there's the 2 words, setting up.
Setting up.
It's been a struggle to set up ends. We do have our first final of this afternoon draw. Draw 5 at the 2021 Canadian Mixed. It is Quebec, Jean-Michel Menard, with an 11-2 win over Nunavut's team Peter Van Streen. Quebec improves to 1-1, Nunavut at 0-3. The other game on the ice, it is Northwest Territories. Jamie Cooey in a 6-3 lead now. Steals of one in the fourth and another one in the fifth, and it is 6-3 Northwest Territories playing in the sixth end over Nova Scotia's Craig Burgess. So that's going to come up light, and that's kind of the story of this afternoon for Team Manitoba, just not executing early in ends and setting up shots.
Just not quite the weight they need. They've had a few light, they've had a few cruise through. They seem to be having trouble finding that happy medium.
Okay, then go then. Yes, yes, yes. Hard, 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 hard. Full 8 if you can. We're there. Okay, full 8. Okay, whoa, 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 whoa. Line. Good shot.
Amanda Gates, both hers in the rings. Both these teams will be back in action tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Northern Ontario will be taking on Quebec. And Manitoba will be playing the Northwest Territories. Trying to get this one across the hog line.
Working hard for it.
And it will get there.
Okay.
Like that.
Would we ever toss it?
I like that better myself.
Yeah, I think so, Trav. I was thinking that too.
So the throw-through will be called for Mike McCarville.
Won't argue.
Don't need to give more rocks in play for Northern Ontario here, for Manitoba to use.
Absolutely.
Chuckling at the team conversation there. Yeah, I won't argue from the third.
What? No cowbell?
I like that too, but
So the corner guard will be used here. Tyler Forrest will be asked to see if he can tuck one in behind.
It's got plenty
Okay.
on it.
Just looking to get some finish. And it will finish, but outside of the rings, so that kind of afternoon. And now the peel will be called for Mike McCarville.
yes, yes, yes. Okay, whoa. Man, Jackie. Whoa.
Caught in the middle there, but they removed the guard, but essentially replaced by their own. Not going to guard much over there, but
It's fine.
Just the comfort of knowing the rock is yours.
That's
I think.
it's a little change up now. Alex Forrest will call for his brother to see if he can freeze to the back. To the shot rock, it's at the back four. Should be enough movement to tuck one in between the two red stones.
Should be okay. I think. T-line. Or to the first one.
You can see it start to skate across as soon as it hits the hog line. That dramatic curl is definitely still there.
Had pretty good weight. Just probably need just a little more ice.
Broom back in the bleachers again, I guess.
Yeah, I think so. Pretty simple strategy for Northern Ontario right now. Just remove every blue rock that they can see.
Yep, yes. go, go, go. Go, go, go. Good. Good
Nice
save.
throw by Jackie McCormick. Good save. I think she probably came out a little tight and gave it the old arm correct to make that shot.
I'm thinking that's probably what they were referring to. I guess once you hit a certain level with your delivery, you could make those little tweaks and hope to still save it. No, I cannot.
All you. Line's fine. Curling a lot.
That is an understatement.
Feet's a little better this time.
Northern Ontario sitting a couple, and Jackie McCormick will once again be asked to remove the Manitoba stone.
Whoa. Yep. Hard.
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 Hurry.
Keep this on the high side. Not the end of the world if they lose some of their stones, and that's what happens. Still Northern Ontario sitting 3.
Okay. Yeah.
Hoping to get rid of red, but find any protection they can for the blue that stays.
All you. Felt like more. Line's fine. Curl if anything. No, line's fine.
Alex is trying to bring this in as deep as he can. Pretty nice. Good weight there from Randy Forrest. But it is still exposed, and Trevor Bonneau should be able to remove this. No need to hold the shooter, just make the blue go away.
If we had to have a theme for every end, that would be this one.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. Clean.
Yep. Just clean it. You're good. Good, good, good. That's fine.
Called and made.
Keeping with the theme.
Okay. Okay, you got it. Yeah.
I think Alex will try and play the double here and see if he can get a blank and see if he can make something magical happen in the 8th end.
Have we ever had an 8-ender at a championship?
Not at this championship. It's happened at the club championships. It's happened at the juniors, but never at the mixed.
Well, never say never, I guess.
Last 8-ender at a Curling Canada Championship took place in 2015 at the Canadian Curling Club Championships.
Oh.
But there was an 8-ender at the 1968 seniors, pardon me.
Okay.
No, I correct myself. 1952 juniors is when that last. So we have had 2 8-enders recorded at Curling Canada Championship events.
So they are
Want it
rare, but
full or
Manitoba
just a
can still hold on to
Listen,
hope.
they'll take the 6-ender, obviously.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah. Yeah. He's probably going to try the double, but yep.
Okay, full 12. Full 12. Okay.
Okay, then.
Your line's
pretty
fine.
nice.
Okay. Full 12.
Line's good.
Okay, well,
Full 12's good.
well, Let it work a little. Okay. Whoa. Whoa.
Line's good.
Line's fine. Full.
Very nice throw for Trevor Bonneau, and you can see this team is showing the pedigree. Former Canadian champions. The back end of Trevor Bonneau and his sister Jackie McCormick, and they're living up to that standard in the early portion of the 2021 Canadian Mixed. 2-0 record and looking very good to improve to 3-0. Alex Forrest, he sees 2 counters in there, so he's going to draw for his single here in this 7th end.
Keep it out there. Keep going, guys. You got it. Line's perfect.
Wait's looking like it'll be
Keep
close.
going hard.
Tyler and Dorsey
Don't worry about it.
trying to get this in, and it is going to come up short, and it will be another steal of 2.
As long as we can
And
do
that will be fist bumps.
Yeah,
It will
we're good.
be
Good game.
a victory for Northern Ontario. It will be an 8-1 win, and Northern Ontario's Team Bonneau improves to 3-0. Team Alex Forrest from Manitoba drops to 1-1. And that wraps up our coverage. A reminder, we will be back to the Canmore Golf and Curling Club later tonight, 7:30 Mountain Time. A game featuring New Brunswick's James Grattan and BC's Sebastian Robillard. 7:30 Mountain Time here at the 2021 Canadian Mixed. For color commentator Christina Langs, I'm Al Cameron saying so long from Canmore.